Thank you for joining me on Flourish with Ruth. I would love you to introduce yourself and tell the guests who you are and what you do.
Of course. So my name is Dr. Crystal Ann England, licensed marriage and family therapist. And so, Ruth, I have been in this field doing research since 2007.
Wow.
2007.
Amazing. Wow.
And specifically, my main goal is always to be working with our people, right? And by our people, I mean our Caribbean people of the diaspora.
Yes.
I am a Caribbean therapist through and through as a Guyanese Jamaican.
Nice.
There was so many times that growing up, I felt like there weren't many people who understood the very niched understanding of what it means to be a Caribbean person, especially being in the diaspora, right? Yes. So when you left home, you're in New York, you're in Florida, you're in, all these other places. And so my main goal is to reach out to our people, educate, and just really help them to understand the same way that we have to take care of our body, we also have to take care of our mind.
Right.
So that is really why I do what I do.
Yes, amazing. This is beautiful. I remember actually watching one of your videos on TikTok where you were talking about relationships and about Caribbean and saying who you were. But what stood out to me was the fact that you were talking about relationship, one of your relatives with siblings. And it's relatable, not just to me, but some other people I've encountered. It's like, wow. So many similarities, but one thing is that we never really spoke about it. So I feel like this is a time more to actually speak about it and have healthy conversations. And for our children, for the future generation, so they learn how to communicate with each other and not become estranged, right? Yeah. So the video the video that you were speaking about, it was a relative about sibling. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I think months now, I posted a video just talking about my mom. Yeah. My mom is in her 70s. And I want to say over the past few years, she has grown so much as a person. And I have had the privilege to watch her just grow and evolve. And one of the things that I noticed about my mom is that when she is not around, now that she's put a lot of space and prioritized herself away from her siblings, she is so much happier. And, I think the main thing was that a lot of her siblings don't even like her. And so they would do things that seemed like, oh yes, I love you, and buy tickets for her to go there. But then when she would go, they would say, hey, can you cook? So then she'd be like, being used to do labor in the house the whole time. But it looks like, oh yes, me and my sissy are so close. I paid for tickets for her to come visit me. Yeah, you
was it really to come visit or really to come cook for you?
Come be your slave, right? And so, I would always tell my mom, even as a child, like, I don't like the way that your siblings just put you in these, me as a kid watching this. And even as a kid, I knew, these kinds of behaviors didn't make sense to me. So now, I was really just talking about how much my mom is living a life of joy. And I am so grateful to see that she is living this life of joy because she has separated herself from those toxic ass siblings.
So she's happier than ever. So you love your mom. This is what you were asking for all along. Yeah. But sometimes it takes time, right? It takes time, because we love our family so much and we want to say like, okay, or maybe we feel like that's what we're supposed to do, but not realizing that we're being hurt and crushed until later on in life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about that. Because you said she's much better now that she has basically distanced herself, right? Mm-hmm. So let's talk a little bit about grieving relationships that are still alive. A lot of times growing up, I know when I heard about grief, it was more like it was death, right? Someone passed away. But lately I've been hearing more about it in the sense of grieving a relationship is a loss, right? No longer the same interaction. So let's talk about that. The emotional pain of losing a friendship or a friend connection, and why this type of grief is often overlooked by society.
Yeah. I think a huge part of what we know about grief, again, like you said, Ruth, is that it's usually tied to death. But the truth is that for many people, grieving those who are still living, that feel different.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can even be more intense because, okay, if the person is dead, they're gone, but usually not by choice. In very few times, it's by choice.
Yeah.
Most of the time, when people are gone, it's not by choice. But when you decide to, for example, when I think about the relationship that my mom has had with her sisters, those were choices that her sisters were making to be unkind or to separate, in some ways, sometimes to be emotionally unavailable for her, right? They were making choices to do that.
Exactly.
Whereas when someone's dead, there's not a choice. The person's gone, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes that feels almost more injurious to us because that means this person has chosen to hurt me or to be unkind, right? So when we then separate ourselves and we are grieving that relationship, that grief can be really hard because this was almost a choice.
Exactly. Yeah, you know? So it's hard. You're right. So it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to even rebuild that relationship if that's ever an option because you feel like it was intentional.
Yep. Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
And that's really hard to overlook. That's really hard to overlook.
It is. Especially if you've been kind to the person. So it starts making you question yourself, like, what did I do? Like, why is this person behaving that way? And it may not have been you all along. It's just a them problem. You know?
Yeah.
Okay. So how to heal when there is no closure? That's the question. How do you heal when there's no closure?
So Ruth, honestly, something that I've learned both personally, but as well as professionally is that closure is not a real thing. It's not something that anyone can provide you. Closure is something that you provide yourself.
Okay.
Right? And so when we talk about closure, something that I always like to remind my clients, but that I also tell myself when I'm letting go of a relationship is that people are there for seasons.
Right.
And so even with family, right? Not every family member is meant to be your bestie. Or your closest family member. There are times where certain people help you through certain things or you guys have certain relationships. But one of the biggest things that I have found, Ruth, is that when you're growing and evolving as a person, it is so important that you remember that where you are as you're healing, you're no longer going to have tolerance for certain things.
Right.
And so if people can't deal with you the way they used to deal with you, like how they used to treat you, all of a sudden, because now that's not allowed. You don't allow that anymore. Now you have boundaries. Guess what? They don't want to deal with you at all because what do you mean you have boundaries? What do you mean?
I know. What do you mean? Like you can't be my doormat anymore? What are you talking about? I need to keep walking over you.
How dare you? Right? So something I always tell my clients is when you're growing and you're evolving, get ready to grieve the end of relationships.
Yeah, that's true.
When people are choosing to hurt you over and over, they are telling you, they are giving you information. Yes. What is that information saying? You are not worthy of good treatment.
Exactly.
I do not think you are worthy of being treated kindly. And therefore, I'm going to treat you like a doormat. I'm going to keep hurting you over and over because I don't really care about you.
Right.
Right? And I think the thing is people think like, oh, we're family. They love me.
That's what I love.
And I always say this, do you understand that over 80% of murders and homicides are done by people who love you, aka family? So love is a thin line. And it's sometimes those very people who will be the first ones to backstab you.
Yes, it's true.
There comes a time where you have to be thinking about you.
Yes.
And what is best for you. And I think the other part of this, Ruth, that I always remind myself is like, are you a person of faith?
Yes.
No matter what you believe. Like I don't care what God you believe in. If you believe in a God, sometimes it's interesting to deal with or ask yourself a question of like, has God ever forsaken me before and not provided people in my life? Right? Every time God take him also give. So if he removes people out of your life, he's going to also give you other people, but you have to be open to it. You can't be over here, because then you're missing the opportunities of these other people to come into your life.
Yep. So we have to stay ready. You're right. Right. I mean, I'm gonna validate how she feels. It's normal to feel bad or feel hurt because no one expected that loss. Yeah. But we can't stay there, right?
We can't.
Dr. Crystal, we can't stay there. We have to be able to learn how to move on, and we have to learn how to be happy within ourselves without people. Like, what brings you joy, right? That's another thing. And I'm still learning more of how to love myself, choose me first. Because a lot of times it was like just how my parents are ministers, like in church, growing up, they're servant leaders, they give. But it's like you become depleted, and it's like then you start to feel like, dang, who's for me? And people are not gonna come and really. People are just not nice. Put it like that. People are just not nice. Yeah. It's hard, they're gonna just be like, oh, you giving me? I'm gonna take. Yeah. So you have to pour into yourself first, and like you said, whatever God take away, He'll give you. He'll replace it for what He knows is best for you.
Yeah. And you said something, Ruth, and I think this is something I always encourage people to do is as you are losing a relationship, right? So let's say you and your cousin used to be really close, or you and your auntie used to be really close, or your siblings, and you're no longer close. Like, one of the things I would tell my mom is like, Mom, go to the clubhouse. They have dancing, they have parties, they have bingo. Like, go and figure out, what does Joyce like?
Right.
You don't even know who Joyce is because all these years you've been
serving,
helping everybody else. Go figure out what brings you joy. And I think a huge part of the reason why my mom has been able to separate herself from those toxic people, and including me, and I can attest to this even from my clients too, is because like you're saying, pouring into yourself. Well, how do you pour into yourself? Figure out what you like. Go for walks, paint, go take a dance class. Go to the library. Yes, read a book, right? Try a new face routine. Paint your nails.
Right.
Do things that bring you joy. And if you don't know what that is, experiment to find out.
Exactly. Yeah.
But if you're just home trying to oh, I'm so sad. I feel, I'm so lonely. You're going to be lonely forever.
And stress kills. Listen, it's going to start affecting your body. So you're right. You need to get out there and go socialize and meet new people. And you'll be surprised what you learn and who you encounter. So it's really good to go out. So the impact of family estrangement on mental health. That's what we're talking about, right? The emotional toll of family members no longer speaking, feelings of rejection, guilt, and loneliness, and strategies for coping and finding peace. I'll say something, as we were talking before. I'll be transparent as well. Like, I'm the youngest of 4, and I feel like at this point I only have one sibling. I'm just in contact with my brother. My older siblings have decided to no longer speak to me. And to be honest with you, I've been feeling happier. Because I don't have that toll of being there, of showing up for them for stuff that really is not my responsibility. So, and I have my therapist as well, and she asked me, like, how do you feel? Do you feel lonely? And I said, actually, I enjoy my own company. I do love being with other people and going out, but majority of the time I like to be alone because it's just me, quiet peace. But I do feel like I feel lighter. Yeah. I feel lighter mentally. Like, I feel much happier because I'm able to do what I need to do. I don't have to worry about dimming my light because this sister or that sister, I could be
too much, or you do it too much, right?
Yes. Yeah. I could be me. I feel free. At last.
And that's the thing, right? I think estrangement is really hard because at first and the thing is, you might miss those people forever, right? There are cousins that I used to be very close to.
Yeah.
Right? And even I have like a cousin brother that I was very, very close to, but over the years we don't really talk. Because the other cousin brother who used to keep us together, he died. So, a lot of times, like, if someone dies and they're the glue, then everybody kind of becomes estranged. Yeah. And, there were times where I would feel like, oh my goodness, why doesn't this brother want to be close to me, or why don't these cousins want to be close to me anymore? And I would reach out and they would never call back. And one of the things I realized is it is a privilege to be in my company, because I know the kind of company that I am, and I know that I hold my people down. So if you choose not to be in my company, that's okay. But I cannot take that as what did I do wrong? Is it a me thing? Because when I really look at it, I'm like, oh, it's a you thing. You got a lot going on in your life.
Exactly.
And it's not, sometimes we make it about us, Ruth.
Yeah.
It's not even about us. These people going through it. They got stuff they got going on. And the truth is, I'm glad we're not close anymore because I don't want to be going through it while you going through it.
It would drain you. Some things are heavy. It would drain you. So that's why it's like, we have to look at it as a blessing. Like maybe there's God protecting us. Looking, so that's how we should see it. Like, okay, all right, it's not coming naturally or genuine. So let it go. Let it go.
And like I was saying to you earlier, and what I've realized is that as I have allowed people to go, God has given me.
Yeah.
Right? Randomly on Threads. A year ago, I met a girlfriend. Me and this girlfriend talk every day. Every day we send voice notes. Hey girl, what you grateful for? What you grateful for? This is what I do. Every day, Ruth. With her and I talk. I've never met this person in person.
Right.
But I call her Dr. Cuz. That's my Dr. Cuz.
Dr. Cuz.
Right? Even my kids know her. So I'm saying that to say, relationships move out, but it also provides opportunities for new relationships to move forward.
Yes, it does. It really does. Yeah. And I'm grateful for there's pros and cons with social media, but I'm looking at the pros. Like you meet amazing people. I've met some amazing people on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok. That's how I met you, right? We met here, like just speaking gems, and I felt like you connected to me. I was like, oh no, we need to talk a little bit more about this. Yeah.
But imagine though, Ruth, if you were so wrapped up in your grief of grieving these relationships, you wouldn't reach out because you'd be like, oh, I don't know if that's gonna, she may not, I don't know if I can handle it.
That's true.
But you're taking chances, you're putting yourself out there. It gives you, and even the other thing is like sometimes when we have certain relationships, and this is something I always say, I moved from Florida to Georgia in the past 3 years. And at first I didn't really know what God wanted for me. I was like, God, I know you have a plan, but I don't really know what that is. And during those 3 years, I lost a lot of people that I thought were really close to me. And what I realized, Ruth, is that I can't hear God's voice over all these other people.
True. Yeah.
So I had to be alone in order to hear God.
Yeah.
And so I'm so grateful that those people are gone now. Again, I miss them. I think about them. And when I think about them, like I send them love I don't call them, but I send them love through the universe because I don't need to call them, right?
Through God. Like, pray for them. Yeah.
Like you said, if anything, at first, yes, there's still like a longing and I miss them. But the truth is, I don't need them.
Exactly.
Right? And so Auntie Indira said, I do a lot of reading now. Yes. And I spend time with my grandkids. Yes.
Really? Enjoy life. Yeah. Reading, you learn new things through reading too. Right.
Yes. I love it.
Find your peace, Auntie. Make sure you like you said, find a club or somewhere like for, a group, go out and have a good time. Try a new dance class, go for walks. It's beautiful. Like enjoying, when the weather permits, definitely go on walks. Clear your mind.
Be outside in nature, do all the things that pour back into yourself. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. Drink your favorite tea when you get back in or boost or something, right?
Island people always got
and sip. Don't take big gulps. Take little sips so that way you enjoy. It's like, this tastes good. Life is good, Yes, Auntie. Okay, so building healthy relationships and friendships as adults. We're going to talk about that as well. Because it's different, right? From childhood friendships and now as adults, but it's relearning it, right? The importance of trust, right? If trust, communication, and boundaries, if we can't trust each other, then there's no friendship here, right? So let's talk about that. What does a friend look like, even in adulthood?
When I think of friendship, one of the biggest things that I think about is there's a couple of different pieces, but the main piece I think of is, can I be my full self with you?
Right.
Right? Can I be sometimes my happy self, sometimes my sad self, sometimes my overthinking self? Can I be all of those? Do you give me space? Or do you say, girl, relax, you too hype? Or do you say, what, girl, get over that. That's not a big deal. Move on, get on. Let those people go. It's not a big deal. Move on from it. Right? Mm-hmm. Or do you really allow me to fully show up and give me space to be who I am?
Right.
Right? And I think the other part too is sometimes do you feel like, the moment that you feel that you and someone are in competition, or somebody's watching you, even like one of the things I always say is like support. Right? So for example, Ruth, every time now I see something of yours cross my feed, I don't even need to watch it. I'm liking it.
Yeah.
Right? The moment I see, oh, it's Ruth. Or, you know, any of my girlfriends, I don't even need to watch. I am automatically clicking like.
Yeah.
Right?
It's about that relationship. We know it, and I support what you're doing. I love what you're doing. So yes.
But there's sometimes that you have people that call themselves friends or family, and they watch your stuff. You see them watch your stuff, but they're never going to like it. They're never going to comment on it. They're never going to support and show up in the chat and send you hearts. Right?
The least they could do, right? If not in-person events, but yeah.
Right? When you write your book, Ruth, they're never going to buy your book.
You're right.
And this, for me, what I've realized is family or friends, I don't need you.
Right.
If you don't support me at the basic level, you're taking up space that you don't need to take up space. Excuse me, please leave.
Right, exactly.
What are you here for? You just trying to watch me? What you trying to watch me for? For what?
That's the thing. What are you watching for? Yeah.
Go live your life, honey. Because I'm not watching you. Right?
Exactly.
So I think one of the hallmarks of having healthy relationships is that it's authentic, it's organic, it's support. There's continuous support, right? Whatever you do, you're going to tell, like, and the other part, something I'm also learning, Ruth, is that as you're getting older, you want to be the kind of person that people can lovingly check you when you say something that's hurtful, because that's how you know the person values you, right? That when things do get hard and you say, because for me, I'm going to be honest and transparent here. My mind has always been the kind of brain, I'm a little bit neurodivergent. Yeah. And sometimes I be saying stuff like the thought comes to my mind, it comes out my mouth. That get me in plenty of trouble. Right? So sometimes I'll say stuff and it might be hurtful. Right. And the thing I really appreciate about my girlfriends is that they'll say, Chris, why would you say that?
Yeah.
That was hurtful. And I'd be like, oh, dang, girl, you're right. I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
But you see, hold on. You see, that's what you just did here. You said, sorry, you validated how that friend felt or family, whoever, you know what I'm saying? Like the fact that they came and they told you that and you validated that instead of brushing it off.
But the fact that they even came to tell me.
Right.
To me, that is what a friend is. Yes. That when there are moments, you and I can be in challenging moments, but you're not afraid to talk to me because you know that I'm gonna own it. If I mess up, I'm gonna own it because I value you, right? I value this. But sometimes what people do, which this is the kind of friendships I don't think are helpful, is that they just like store it away.
Right.
And then they store it away. And then you keep doing stuff and they just keep storing it. And then one day they ghost you or they cuss you out. Right? As opposed to in the moment, oh man, Ruth, why would you say that? That hurt my feelings, girl.
Yeah.
And then we can have a dialogue. Oh, Chris, I didn't mean to say it like that. I didn't mean that way. I'm sorry I hurt you.
Right.
So that's what I think of when I think of building adult relationships is really just being able to be honest, being able to be yourself, and supporting each other. Those are the things I think of. But
in the same token, too, I love everything you said, which is great. It's important about the trust, and you validate how I feel, and we talk about it and able to move on. You know, that's how I continue able to trust you because you respect my boundaries and I respect yours. But also with that being said, I just want to put out there for those who are, you know, watching, there are times that you may attempt to do that, but if it has to be mutual, meaning the person has to be receptive to you or making time to even talk about it. I've had a situation where there was something that was said and, I initiated that to try to at least make some time for us to meet because it would have been possible. You know, we live close. But the person never made time. The person never made time. So at that point, I'm like, okay, you can't be that busy because I'm a mother of 5. You know, I have my husband, I have myself, I have my parents, everything. I'm very busy, you know, but I would definitely make time if I value you, right? And I respect you. And there's something important that we need to talk about. I'm going to create time. Even if it's 10, 15 minutes, I'm going to create that time because I value you. So at that point, you have to see like, okay, if it's not mutual, then it's time to let it go. it's time to let it go.
It has to be. It has to. And I love that you brought that up, Ruth, because, you know, I learned this very same lesson from my sister-in-law years ago who had 4 kids.
Right.
And then I had a girlfriend who had no kids. And the girlfriend who had no kids. And that's not to say that people that don't have kids aren't busy. That's not what I'm saying. Because you could be busy too. Right. Lots of things going on. But what I'm saying to you is there is nobody as busy as a mother with a mother, period. But then you got 4 kids, 5 kids. And my sister-in-law would call me every single day at a certain time, even though she got her 4 kids, plus she was working.
Right.
Plus she has my brother, which was another 4, basically 5 kids, right? So she had a lot going on, but she always made time to connect with me because she valued our relationship. So when I started seeing this one girlfriend who was always too busy, you have to be able to look at things and say, if there's not reciprocity, and I think one of the main things here, Ruth, like what you're saying, is we make time for what we value. Right. And if you don't value me, you're always going to be busy. And that's fine. Right. Cool. But don't tell me that you value me. Oh, girl, I can't wait till we finally get together. Girl, you're not trying to get together.
Or as you mentioned, seasons. We spoke about seasons as well. That's the hard thing. And I think it's harder if you have known the person for a long time, or even family, right? That close relationship for many years. And now that season is up. That hits hard.
Of course. But also remembering that as you're growing and evolving, not everybody is meant to go on that journey with you.
Right.
You know, and I really, I mean, as much, I think at this point I've lost so many people that I know that loss is only temporary. Right. Like while I might feel and grieve them forever, I also know that means that God's making space for something else for me.
Something better. Yeah.
Right. So I can, again, some of my girlfriends I've had since middle school, and I don't have those girlfriends anymore. And I miss them tremendously. All the time I think of them and I miss them. But I also know when those girlfriends were in my life, there was a lot of light dimming. I had to, and the woman that I was back then, who could be a friend to that friend, that woman don't live here no more. That woman,
rest in peace to her. She's gone.
Because that woman now has kids.
Right.
And, once you have kids, I'm sorry, nobody comes above my kids. But back in the day, I used to allow those friends to come before me. Right? Girl, you looking for someone that don't exist. When you find her, you let me know.
Let me know.
But she ain't never coming back. So
that's
right.
And you set the example for your kids, because they're watching us. Our kids are watching us. You know, even I'm going to share this. My son, one of my sons, like, he just saw, because again, I thought that was the right thing. And I'm not saying I'm not going to change who I am. I just want to be careful who I give access to me, but I'm a giver. Like, I love to be around people, like, out, have a good time. And I like to see people happy when I can, again, when I can, like, like cheer them up. But my son had to tell me, like, Mommy, that's enough. He's like, every time you help people, you turn out to be, they make it seem like you're the bad person. So he saw it in real time, seeing stuff that even they may have been uncomfortable, right? With certain situations, but I did it to say, like, okay, let's help them. That's the best thing to do. Like, growing up, like, community, we have to support each other, whether it's family or close friends. But my son basically had to check me, like, okay, Mommy.
And that's the thing, Ruth, the kids, they see everything and they know. Right? Sometimes as adults, we don't see maybe the not so great parts of other people, but our kids, they're like, Mommy, she don't like you, or that person. And you're like, what do you mean?
But they see. But when I did tell my son, it was like, because I didn't want him to feel like I don't ever want to help people, because he feel like everybody's just so selfish and self-centered. And it's true. People do think about self, but I still don't want him to feel like I don't ever want to help anyone off of my experience. I'm like, no. What you can do, take it as a note and make better decisions, right? Because I'm older and all that, but at least you saw it and able to know, okay, what it's not supposed to look like and where to make sure that you're not overextending. But I still want him to show up and support community and, because that's what the legacy my parents given me. So I want to still pass that along and say, no, we still have to come together. It's just be cautious with who you give access, right? Or what you could, and say no. Like, if there's something really feel uncomfortable, say no, and that's it.
When it comes to having, a sick child, whew, that's a lot. That's hot. That kind of grief, because you're constantly grieving the life you thought this child might have, the life maybe you thought you would have.
Okay.
You know, you're grieving the possibilities for the future. You know, there's so much to that. And I think, and then having to show up for your child and watching them not fully be able to be maybe the person that you thought they would be, and maybe even you not fully being able to show up because you're exhausted from caregiving, and sometimes feeling resentment about that. Like that is so complicated, Babita, so complicated, having a sick child and grieving that.
That came up recently. Actually, on the last interview I was interviewing Walter, and he mentioned that about his good friend. They had that discussion because one of his children have autism. He's autistic, and just having a conversation with fellow parents that have children that's on the spectrum, they were saying that that's a grief there as well, because you wish that you're able to play basketball with your child, or they be in a team or go to tournaments, and you're not able to. So it's like that loss that you wish, you know, all the plans that you had, and you won't be able to have it. That's a form of grief too. And I'm like, so when she's mentioned, I'm thinking back to that conversation we had. Yeah,
absolutely. And you know, again, like we were saying earlier, sometimes the grief that happens when people are living, sometimes more difficult than the grief of someone not being present.
Right.
Because it's like you're dealing with that in your face grief. Not to say that death isn't an in your face grief, because it is. That is also a in your face grief.
Right.
But it feels so much more intense.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, someone's saying, what advice would you give a special needs mom with mental stress? So if something that I think is really helpful is if you have a child who has special needs and you get help or assistance from the government, looking into respite care. So essentially, usually respite care, there's a place where someone can come into your home and like be with your kid for an hour or two, where you can go and grocery shop, or, you know, certain people can help you with certain things.
Yeah. Like a home attendant, right?
Yes.
Like a home attendant. Yeah.
So when you have a special needs kid, I think one of the biggest things is community. You need community.
Yes.
Whether it's a group of aunties or uncles who come by and drop off food, help with drop off and pick up, just somebody who understands what you're going through.
No judgment.
With no judgment. That, you know, you can call and be like, girl, let me tell you what happened to me.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the thing, Jure, is that Team Jure, what they've found in studies is that caregivers who have special needs kids who do not have community are the number one, they find that they suffer way more than other people who have that community. The thing is, you have to get outside of your comfort level.
Definitely. Out of your comfort. Yes. And there's a community, Team Jure. There are, like, I would say take to social media as well. Like I've found there are groups. I've seen other parents and to be around people who have similar experiences, right? That we could piggyback off each other. Oh, this is what I did for my child. What works for me, and see if they're local. And then, you know, but take to social media to find your local groups, because there are groups out there where you could connect, even maybe do play dates where you can meet at a park or meet somewhere where the children can socialize, or you just debrief with the other parents. You need that for your mental well-being.
Yeah. Because sometimes we feel like we're alone.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And that lonely feeling, like you are doing all of this by yourself, is horrible. Yeah. It's horrible.
It is.
Yeah.
I would suggest I'm happy you're speaking up though. Jure, you're doing the right thing because you're speaking out. So there is help. You don't have to feel alone, and you don't have to go through this journey alone. Even if it's not physical, you have in person, but even a phone call on a group, or now look how we're meeting and we're talking, we're having this conversation, is helpful for your mental well-being. You know, there's help out there. So definitely look for that. Yeah. Cause sometimes it takes a toll on me. Yeah. I can imagine, because you need that space. You need you, right? To pour into you. So as Dr. Crystal mentioned, if you can have an opportunity for maybe a home attendant to come in, or if there's somewhere that, I would say, come in to just give you a little break. Even if you're still in the home, but maybe go into a room for a little bit, or even step outside for a little bit, that would be helpful.
Yeah.
So we spoke about building relationships, right? So let's talk about dealing with rejection and feeling unliked. That's something that we spoke a little bit about with Auntie, right? But how repeated rejection can affect self-esteem, right? Avoiding the trap of people pleasing, and learning to find validation from within rather than from others. And one thing I want to say is that's one of the reasons why I wrote my journal. It's called Flourish Women's Journal. And men go through this too, but I feel like with us women, we needed an outlet. So for me, just all these years I've been going through certain things of like, again, feel like, okay, this is serving, this is what I'm supposed to do. But then you end up becoming overwhelmed. So I had to learn that to sit down. That wasn't my plan, but I had no choice. During that break, I was able to focus on me. I was able to find myself because I've been working since I was 15, like at a daycare, So this is truly the time that I'm like, wow, it's me time, and I've been enjoying it since. And again, with the journal, I use it personally as well. I have a theme for each month, to activate women's mind and think about where can you start pouring into yourself, where you can build confidence, where you need to set boundaries, and just again, loving you.
Yeah. I love that, Ruth, that you took that time and instead of allowing it to take away from you, you allowed it to fill you up, right? And to use it to grow. And I love that you just allowed yourself to be in it and not try to like, okay, let me get a job and let me go and find something else. And because sometimes that's what we do. We want to busy up ourselves to fill that space, that void. Right.
I had no choice. I'm happy you said that, but it's like, I probably would have, but God he put me in a position where I had no choice because I had situations even with family. Like I said, I'm a mother of 5. So I even had set up help and that fell off. The help that I had for everything fell off. So it was like, I had no choice. And I'm like, I'm grateful for it because if not, I probably would have still been busy and not having time to pour into myself.
Yeah. And look, you found all of these different avenues actually where you can really flourish and allow yourself to come to life. Right. And so, rejection is hard for us as human beings because we were made for connection. Right. In order for us to survive as humans, we have to be connected to other human beings. It's part of the way that we are biologically made and created is that we exist within families, right? And so if you think about it even historically, we think about the little tribes that we had or the little communities. If you were out there in the wild without a community, you were going to be eaten by something, right? Something was going to eat you. So in order to survive, we need to be accepted. Right. Into the community. Now, the problem is when we feel that rejection, a lot of times we internalize it as something is wrong with me instead of seeing it as information.
Yeah.
And, going back to what you were saying about that one girlfriend who would be like, oh, yeah, let's get together. You could interpret that as she's rejecting me because we're not actually ever getting together. Or you can accept it as this is information that I am not as valuable to her as I thought I was. And that's okay.
Right.
Because now I know where I stand with her.
Exactly.
Yeah, girl. I'm so looking forward to when we do eventually get together. Right?
Or you no longer entertain that.
Or you just shut it down.
Yeah.
Girl, we never getting together. Okay. Have a good night. Love you. Bye.
Exactly.
And you keep it moving.
I like that. Someone said, girl, you look so beautiful from a distance. And I think we should keep that distance.
Absolutely. I love that.
I love that. Yes.
And so I think a lot of us become people pleasers, Ruth, because we are afraid of rejection. So guess what happens? If I keep doing what I think you like,
right,
and overcompensating and doing things for you, maybe you'll like me more. But the truth is, if people don't like you, they don't like you.
Exactly.
And you're not going to convince them. Going back to my mom, right? As much as my mom did for her sisters, it did not change how they felt about her. If anything, it only made them disrespect her more.
Yeah.
Because they saw her as, oh, Dicey just gonna allow me to use and abuse her. So I'm just gonna keep doing it. Right? Yeah. And people know that you don't value yourself when you're that people pleaser. So they keep pushing boundaries to see how much they can do, how much they can get away with.
Exactly.
And if you think about it, I always tell my clients this, being a people pleaser is also manipulative on your part. And here's why I say that. Because as a people pleaser, you might say to me, oh, Chris, let's go and eat something. We're going to go to get burgers.
Right.
Mind you, I don't eat red meat. Right? We're going to get burgers. Okay. I'm not even being authentic.
Right.
I'm going to get burgers. I don't even eat red meat. So here I am. I'm at the place. I get a little Sprite and I get like some French fries. Right. Oh, wait, isn't the food so good here? Oh yeah, it's so good. Girl, I'm being fake as hell.
No. Yeah.
I'm not even being myself.
Right.
Right. So people pleasers, if you think about it, they're manipulative because they're not even fully showing up honestly. I'm not being honest.
Yeah.
I think that I'm being kind, but is not being honest being kind?
But in the long run, you end up hurting yourself. You end up hurting yourself. It's going to catch up. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the thing is, then we get upset with other people when that person doesn't then know who we really are.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we never showed them because we didn't allow them. Right? Because we were the people pleaser. We were the one bending and bending and bending and bending and pretending all the time and then being resentful to other people when, girl, it's you. You should have spoke up. Do you want to get burgers? No, girl, I don't eat that. Can we go to the Cheesecake Factory? Oh, yeah, they have burgers there. Plus, they have salad. Okay, perfect.
There you go. So it works for both. There's a compromise. Yeah, it has to work for both or all the parties. Yeah.
Right? So I think if you look at it from the perspective that even as a people pleaser, that you are not fully being authentic and you are also playing a role in being disingenuous,
then it changes.
It changes because then it's not just the other person's fault. It's also now on you to be different.
Right.
One of the things that my family, they all know, and my cousins would joke about this. Don't ask me for no money. Don't ask me for no money.
I'm not your bank. I'm working for you. No.
You need money? Oh, I need some too. When you find some, let me know.
That boundary. Okay.
That's one of that for me, because I've watched the way my parents over their lifetime, the way that people have used and abused them through finances.
Okay.
I will never allow. Now, if you say you need money, what you need? You need bread? Okay. Send me your address. Let me send the bread to your house. Oh, no. I wanted the money to buy the bread. Do you really need bread then?
Right.
I will send the bread to your house.
Yeah, I'm not going to leave you hungry. Yes.
Right? Oh, you need a shower? Okay, you can come and bathe. Right? But what you will never get from me, and I shouldn't say never, because one of the things I would do with my cousins is I would give them money to give to certain causes for the family, and I would say, praise from you. Put it with your money. Don't tell nobody I didn't give you no money.
Yeah, anonymously. That's fine too. Yeah. For your peace. Yeah.
And nobody don't need to know. I don't want nobody to know I gave money.
Right.
Because they are not going to come ask me for money.
Like, oh, she giving out money? Oh, let me get in line.
You will. So if you ever hear, oh, Chris gave me money, you know it's lying. Because I never gave anybody anything.
No receipts.
No receipts. Again, I will give you bread. I will give you chicken. I will buy you rice. Whatever you need, if I have it, I will do it. But I'm not giving you money. And that's my own trauma from witnessing my parents. Being used and abused.
Yeah.
Right? And that was a thing for me. I'm like, I will never allow anybody to use and abuse me financially.
So that's good that you set the boundary. So you see, from learning from your parents, you know, okay, this is what I will do because I'm going to help, but this is what I won't. So that's good. And they know, the family know, don't do it.
Don't do it. Yeah. Something, Ruth, that I always tell my clients is that we will allow as much abuse from other people as just as long as it does not go beyond how we abuse ourselves. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. So for example, if I don't think that I am worthy of certain things, if someone else comes and tells me that I am not worthy, I will believe it.
Right.
But if I know what I'm worthy of and you come and tell me that I'm not worthy, I'm like, bye.
Filter it out. It doesn't even stay here.
So self-love is so important because people will come in based on where you are.
Right.
If you find that certain people are trying you, then you have to be asking yourself, what am I putting out there for people saying or seeing certain things? And where do I need to adjust? Right? Because when people come to me, Ruth, is people who I want to be surrounded by thought leaders.
Yeah.
I want to be surrounded by women who are empowering other women. Like I even hear all the time when I'm on these lives with Andrea every Friday, you know, they're always talking about how in the Guyanese community, there's so much drama. And I'm like, sorry guys, I don't know what you're talking about.
It doesn't come here.
I literally don't, it doesn't come on my feed. So you see the same way that your algorithm knows what to send you.
Right.
Life also knows what to send you based on what your frequency is.
Right.
So I don't even see drama on social media because I'm not a part of drama. Yeah. You know what they send me? It sends me things about doing little girls' hair, how to do hairstyles. It shows me nature walks. It shows me places where to go eat. It shows me how to get the cheapest travel tickets around the world.
Oh, send me that. The cheapest show.
I'll send it to you, Ruth, because that's my frequency.
Yeah.
Right? That's where I exist. So the algorithm shows me what I am.
Right.
So if you want life to start showing you love, you know, reciprocity, kind relationships that allow you to be fully who you are, then you need to start showing up as that person for yourself.
Right.
I hope that makes sense.
It does. You're right. No one's going to love you more than you, right? Except for the higher power, of course, but you have to start pouring into yourself. And once people see that you love yourself and you take care of yourself, like you said, then they're going to know how to approach you. You know, they can't approach you any type of way. They can try, but then, like you said, block, move. Even in real life, you got to walk away. It's like, not accepting that energy, that frequency. How can someone remain open to building new relationships without becoming discouraged after experiencing repeated disappointments in friendships or family relationships?
Disappointment is a part of life.
Right.
Right? So if you think that you're just gonna, after being disappointed, you know, multiple times through life, that you're never gonna face disappointment again, I'm sorry to tell you, that's not realistic. Yeah. Right? Disappointment will be here from now until the day you take your last breath. We will always be having moments of disappointment. But I think the thing is that you have to trust trust yourself to have discernment.
Yeah.
Right? And so as you're putting yourself out there to like maybe meet people again or make new friends or make new relationships, asking yourself, okay, when I leave this person, do I feel better about myself or do I feel less than myself when I walked in? That's how I always gauge, Ruth. Like when I leave a person, I'm like, how do I feel? Am I questioning everything I said in that conversation? Or do I feel like, oh, I love Ruth. That was so good. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Because if I leave like, oh wait, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Oh, she made that face when I did that. I already know my discernment is telling me that's not a relationship for me.
Right.
Because I don't
question yourself. Yeah. Yeah.
Any person that I leave from their presence, I want to feel lifted up.
Yeah.
If I feel pulled down, it's not for me, baby. I spent the first half of my life was dealing with that. The next half of my life, I'm not dealing with that.
No turning back. No turning back. No turning back.
Right? So it needs to feel, I think a big part of this is you need to have discernment and you need to ask yourself, how am I feeling within my spirit, within my body about this person? Mm-hmm. And if this does not feel good to me, it doesn't make sense.
Right. What advice would you give to parents to help children process family conflicts without placing additional burden on them? Like, what would you think parents should tell? Like, especially if they had a bad experience growing up, or maybe the child witnessed that. Like, how can they guide their children on making healthier choices with relationships?
So I think the first thing is like, we don't ever want to burden our kids with our emotional stuff because that's not their business.
Right.
But if we're trying to set an example, it's important to be like mindful of the age appropriateness of what we're discussing, right? So for example, my kids will see that certain cousins and I don't talk anymore. They'll say, oh, what happened to this cousin? I'll say, you know, baby, there's times where you're really close to some friends. Do you remember that one friend you had in kindergarten and you guys are really close? But then when you went to first grade, were you close anymore? No, like life just pulled you apart. Things happen. You make new friends. That's how it is as an adult too. Like life happens, things pull you apart. So you explain it to them in a way that is age appropriate and in a way that they can make sense of it. And I love to do that by using their own experiences, right? Not so much talking about mine, but talking about theirs. Oh, you remember that one little friend you had? I remember how sometimes she would tell you mean things. Do you think you want to be friends with her anymore? Well, sometimes in my life, I've had some cousins or some aunties say mean things to me. And do you think I want to be friends with them anymore? No. It doesn't feel good to me. And we don't have to be, just because we're family, we don't have to be in their space. I can come from a distance. Because I think that's the other part, is that we teach our kids within the Caribbean community that family is family. I don't believe in that. And I don't teach my kids that.
Exactly.
If family hurts you, if anybody hurts you, it's not okay. I don't care if they're a stranger in the street or if it's your family. Not okay. So I think that's really the way that I try to deal with those situations is to just age appropriate explanations, giving them real examples of their own life and their own experiences, and driving it home that family does not get to abuse you just because they're family.
So we unlearning, right? What we were taught or what we saw, what we witnessed, because we know how it feels, right? We knew how it felt, how it feels, and we make changes. So I love that. You're right. They need to know it's not okay because it's family. We're not going to sweep it under the rug because it's family. We're going to talk about it. We're going to fix it. Yeah. I love that. All right. So before we end, I love to ask my guests, think about someone pouring into the community or pouring into themselves. Maybe they never poured into themselves too, but they're finally pouring into themselves. Who would you like to give a virtual rose to?
I would like to give a virtual rose to the hubby. To the hubby. I would like to give a virtual rose to the hubby because I feel like so much of the lessons that I have learned about my own worth, I have grown exponentially in being in this relationship of him encouraging me to set certain boundaries, encouraging me to just really not allow people to use and abuse me. Both as a clinician and a businesswoman, and as a part of a family, right? And as a friend. So that's a beautiful thing when you're able to have a partner who's supportive and we grow together, because there's some things you may not see, but they're close to you, so they'll see that. So to point it out and also help you is really great. So we're giving your hubby his virtual roses. Yes. Author C.L. Brown. Appreciate it.
C.L. Brown. Nice. Yes. Author. That's
author.
He's an author or that's his.
Yes.
What's his book? Let's see. What's the name of the book?
Brown. Let me see. Let me show you guys. So there's a few of them, but there's a lot more. He is a 5-time, he's about to release his 5th book.
Nice. Congrats. Congratulations. What is it called? I can't really see.
This one is called Nectar.
And
then this one is The Eyes That Swallowed the Midday Sun.
Nice.
But he's written quite a bit. Like I said, I think it's 5 books he has out.
What has he written about? Like
what's poetry? It's
poetry. He's a poet. Okay.
He's a poet.
Nice.
It's fitting because I feel like I always call him like my mountain man because he comes from the mountains of Jamaica. And so much of his poetry is exactly that. It's nature, it's spirituality, and it's love. So if you guys are into poetry, author C.L. Brown.
Nice. I love it. That's beautiful. Writing. See, that's where he found his peace. He's just like pouring back into the universe, like you said, pouring back to others. So it's beautiful. Writing is a beautiful thing. Yeah.
And you have your books.
Yes. Yeah. But I had 5 C-sections. Yeah, I've written Strength in Every Scar to bring awareness. And I was honored to interview 3 other moms. One had 1 C-section, the other one had 3, and one had 4. So what we all had in common was like we felt it was a rush process. We were not educated on it, and it's like we felt like we had no choice, no voice, and that wasn't true. So this is awareness to moms.
We got to talk about that next time, Ruth, because I had a C-section, then I had a VBAC. The next time around, I was like, nope,
Oh yes, we definitely need to talk about that. Yes.
We'll talk about it.
Okay, all right. Well, this was a pleasure. Thank you for everyone who joined in. I hope this resonated with you. I hope you gained something from this. This is the purpose of us taking our time out to talk about it, because we need to bring awareness, right? This is real life situation about relationships and grief, right? Grief from relationships while people are still alive. So I hope you learned something from it, or it sparked to start having conversations and just to make better decisions. So be well and keep flourishing.
Yes. Thank you, Ruth.